Picture this. An overcast afternoon, a Thursday. Temperatures hovering right around 65 degrees. There's a mist in the air. People have come out and are enjoying walks and bike rides. After a month or two of 90 to 100 degrees, it's nice to have this respite. Sitting on a covered porch, a dog in the yard. It's kind of nice to have a break, isn't it? How you doing? This is D, and welcome to Uneven. So how are you today? It's good to talk to you again. It's been a little while. It is a Thursday afternoon, not evening. Thursday afternoon, and I'm sitting on the patio here and I'm just soaking in the weather. I love days like this. I love overcast, rainy days. There's little rain off and on. Right now there's just a mist in the air. It is in about the mid-60s. I got the fire pit, actually it's the fire table I have turned on in front of me, sitting on the sofa, enjoying the sound of the water rushing through the canal behind us. Occasional barking from my dog Murphy, who's out in the yard right now. It's peaceful here. And I really enjoy that, and I really need that. How you doing? I hope you're doing okay. I hope you're getting through this summer, getting through the heat, getting through all the weather. There's been hurricanes. Just now is stalled out over the Carolinas. Came up through Florida and did some damage to other parts of the world. Other hurricanes have come through. We've had a lot of heat coming through, some tornadoes. All kinds of stuff has happened lately. I recently put out a benzo-free podcast episode. So if you want to know what I've been up to, you can pick that one up. I put that out about a week ago. I'm not going to repeat myself too much here, but suffice it to say, I still am dealing with some nerve pain and the foot pain and still trying to figure out some answers and finding ways for me to continue to push forward despite the limitations and the complications I have right now. And I think that's the best way I can sum up my overall message. But I want to talk about something else a little bit today. It's been a while since I've been here. I've just been away from it a bit and needed a little time to heal, a little time to reset, a little time to recover. But I'm starting to get back into things. I'm slowly ramping up, and I'm looking forward to talking to you more often. So this is the start of that. A couple of things struck me the other day, and I thought maybe I might talk about that today. Maybe I'll do another one later today and talk about something different. But the subject I want to talk about today is gratitude, I think. It's perspective. My wife said something the other day. She said, it's just a big, giant suck sandwich. It's just a big, giant suck sandwich. And she was referring to our life right now. And you know, at the time, it sure felt like it. And it still feels like it somewhat. Sometimes life just sucks for a while. Sometimes it really sucks for a while. And it's been that way off and off for me and my wife lately through all the losses and everything else we've gone through. Life is like that sometimes. And sometimes we need something to kick us out of that hole we find ourselves in, that hole we've fallen into. And we get down to the bottom and we just kind of sit there because it's a long climb up and we just don't know if we have the energy or the discipline, or even the motivation to start that journey. So we sit at the bottom of that hole. Barely see the light up there at the top of the tunnel. Just barely see it. And even sometimes a storm rolls in and that light disappears for a while, but it comes back. It comes back again, and it's still up there. But at some point, we have to make the decision that it's time to start that climb back up again. Maybe it's when we start to feel better. Wouldn't that be nice? But sometimes we can't wait for that. We don't know when we're going to feel better. We don't know when we're going to get past this. We don't know when this trauma or this pain or this depression or this anxiety attack or this stress or this grief will end. And we have to make a decision. We have to take our hand, take a grab of that nearest rock, and pull ourselves up a little bit. And then take our other hand, grab the next rock, and pull ourselves up a little bit further. Then one by one, we start to climb. And that light, that distant light way up there at the top of the hole, gets a little bit bigger and a little bit closer. And that's where I think I'm at. I'm starting that climb. Maybe I started that climb a week or two ago, but I'm in the beginning stages of the climb. And I know many of you have been there. Some of you are falling down the hole right now. Some of you are at the bottom of the hole and just want to hang out there for a while. And you know what? That's okay. That's okay. But at some point, we get tired of being in that hole. And we want to start climbing up. I've talked about being in dark places, and I've talked about all this different thing. And I've talked about that, about getting back up. And it's a common theme here because it's that important. But sometimes we need something to kind of kick us, to kind of get us moving. Sometimes that's something we consciously think of. We just decide. But often it's triggered by something external. The other day, my wife and I were watching, I think a YouTube video or a video on something. I'm not sure where it was, but it was titled In the Company of Heroes. It was, it was on the Olympics. That's what it was. I think it was part of the Olympic coverage. And it was talking about, it was a mini documentary on American soldiers, World War II soldiers returning to Normandy. Soldiers who were part of the Normandy invasion returning to Normandy. We were starting to see these soldiers coming back and all the sacrifices they made and the sheer terror that some of them faced landing on that beach. And the sheer losses that took place of so many people trying to push Germany back, trying to push the Nazis back. That was the start of Britain and America and all the Allied forces starting to push back the German invasion. Saying, no, we've had enough. And seeing what they all been through, seeing what they all did, and seeing some of these men and women, many over 100 years old, coming back to be in this place one more time. To pay homage to their lost brethren one more time. Was very powerful to me. And to see the people of France, the people of Normandy that were there to greet them, blew my mind. Murphy even is also very moved by this, I could tell. But it's a real good reminder of what others have sacrificed for us to be here today. And that's something I think we need to be reminded of quite often. The fat sacrifice others made, that our parents made, and our parents' parents made, and our parents' parents' parents made, and our soldiers made, and police made, and firefighters made, and first responders made, and nurses made, and all the people along the way, the sacrifices people made so that you and I could be here today, living in this country. I'm in the U.S., and in this country that has freedom. It's amazing. How did I get so blessed? And to see the gratitude of the French people still have to this day for these men and women who pushed back an invasion of their country. To see that genuine recognition, even in the children, when some of these people came and spoke at their schools. We forget our history so easily. There are a lot of people that came before us, and a lot of those people made great sacrifices so that we can be here today. So who am I to sit here at the bottom of this pit complaining about nerve pain, complaining about the grief of loss, complaining about these things? How is that honoring those people who gave their lives for me to be here? And it's not. The chances that we are here right now in this country, I'm just going to focus on the U.S. right now, but in this country, with this freedom we have, with all that is given to us, and yes, we have it incredibly well off. I'm sorry, we just do. And if you don't believe that, you have never really looked at history, or even looked at many other countries in the world. We are incredibly blessed to be here in this country. And it's important, I think, to remember what others have given up for us to be here, so we can be grateful. Boy, gratitude is huge. It is a gift. It is a gift to be grateful for what you have been given. I got a lot of problems. I've had a lot of losses. I've lost 7 people close to me, pretty close to me, in the last 3 years. That's a lot of people. I got foot pain that kicks in at any second and suddenly feels like somebody stabs me in the foot. That's not fun. I have other symptoms going on, some pins and needles and shocks and other stuff going on with my nerves. We're grieving over my wife's dad who just passed away and dealing with that. I don't know what I'm doing with this podcast. I don't know what I'm doing with this community I'm trying to set up, although I have some ideas. And I've been lost a lot lately. I've been trying to figure my way out a lot lately. I've been looking up from the bottom of that hole a lot lately, thinking it'd be cool to get back to that light, to get back up to that top, to get back to life. I'm okay to start moving. I'm okay to start digging my way out. I'm okay to start climbing my way up that rock, because I know there's something better. I've been there, and I want to get back there. And it takes discipline. It takes work. It takes dedication. It takes motivation. But it also takes gratitude for all the good things that I do have. And I have a lot of good things. I have this patio right now where I can sit on a couch in front of a fire, listening to the roaring waters around me, watching the leaves blow in the wind, listening to my dog bark as people ride their bikes down the trail. Watch the bee buzzing around the flowers. Listening to an owl on a rooftop across the way. All these things are going on right now. And they're pretty amazing. And inside, I have a home. Comfortable place to be. Comfortable place for my dog to be. I have a home. I have a wife who loves me and who I love. I have good friends, like our good friend that just came to visit. Jen just came to visit, our good friend from one of my wife's best friends, and came down for a week to spend time with us, and we had a good time. And she's also mourning a loss, and it was good to have that connection to talk about that and work through it, but also to distract and pull ourselves out of it. And we have good friends and good family around us. These are all things to be grateful for. Not everybody has that, and I know that. But you might have other things. I don't know where my life's going. I don't know if my symptoms from this benzodiazepine thing will get better here, or if they're going to get worse again. I don't know. But I got to have faith, and I need to keep moving forward. I need to keep climbing. I need to grab that next rock. And sometimes a little bit of gratitude for those that came before us might just be that motivation that we need. And things like this. Irritations. My dog is barking while I'm recording a podcast. And there is definitely a part of me that just wants to run out there and yell at him to shut him up. And honestly, I'll probably go pull him inside because I don't like him barking outside too long. It bothers the neighbors. And while they've not complained, I just don't want to do that. And I don't want my dog to be known for barking. But the point I'm trying to make is that it's an annoyance. That's all it is. It's an annoyance that I have to deal with. It is minor. And to put things in perspective is probably one of the greatest things we can do. Gratitude helps us put things in perspective. Being grateful for things that people came before us put things in perspective. People who fought in wars in Vietnam, in Korea, in World War II, in World War I, in the Civil War, in the Revolutionary War here in the U.S. Other countries have their own histories and their own stories. But so many sacrifices were made before I came along. So to sit here, waller in my own self-pity, and complain about the world around me, I don't think it's what they had in mind when they gave their lives, their liberty, their bodies to defend my right to be here, my ability to be here. I'm grateful to them. And I think it's something for us to focus on. So, maybe go check that out. If you haven't check that out. It might be on YouTube or something. If you didn't see it, it was a good show. It's called In the Company of Heroes. In fact, I'll try to find a link to it if it's on YouTube or someplace where you can view it. And I'll put it in the show notes if I can come across it. But that may not be the thing that triggers you. It might not be I don't want to use the word trigger, but that may not be the thing that motivates you. Maybe it's something else. But today what I wanted to focus on was there are people that came before you that sacrificed things for you to be here. Your parents, good or bad, struggles, whether there's disharmony in your family. I know we all have issues. I have issues with my family too. But I believe my parents did the best they could with what they were given and with what they were taught. And they made sacrifices so I could be here. And for that I am grateful. Their parents made sacrifices so they could be here, so that I could be here. I'm grateful to them too. I think it's important for us to pay attention to that. I'm not going to meander. I'm not going to linger too long on this. I think it's a good subject to talk about. I think it might be a good motivator for us to get ourselves off our butts and start to make a move, start to move forward, start to climb, start to grab that first rock to pull ourselves out of that hole. I'm doing it. Why don't you come along with me and do it with me? One step at a time, one rock at a time. Grab onto one of those rocks with your hand. Grab on with the other hand. Put your foot in a nice foothold and start moving upward. I know we can do this, and I know we can do it together. I'll be back real soon. I know I will. I'm getting back into this, and we're going to slowly start ramping up, so you're going to hear from me a lot more in the coming weeks. That's part of my way of climbing out of this hole. I love you all, and I'll talk to you soon. Take care.
Hey, this is Dee. Thank you so much for stopping by and checking out our podcast. I do need to remind everyone that this podcast is for informational purposes only and should never be considered medical, psychological, or professional health advice of any kind. If you or someone you know is dealing with significant mental health issues, please seek professional help. Resources can be found in our show notes and on our website at unevenpodcast.com. Take care of yourself, and I'll catch you on the flip side.